Hard not to fall. All I wanted was a quiet evening in with a good series and lots of junk food, but my family was not having it. Both my sisters forced me off the couch and told me to get dressed, while my little brother held my new watercolor paints over a sink full of water as a threat. It was not my fault that their friend backed out of the Valentine's Day fair, but now I was being forced to go against my will. You know, you could have just gone with your boyfriends, but then again, you don't have any. I shouted spitefully as I got dressed. Ouch! Lee, my little brother, burst out laughing. And that was how I was roped into going out on the most romantic night of the year, except for people in a relationship. I had no idea why my twin sisters, both single, wanted to go out, but I had long stopped trying to figure out what went on in their diabolical minds. Sure enough, the answer revealed itself once I saw them turning into giggling messes when looking at Mason, the most sought-after guy at school. I should talk to him. I wonder why he did not call me. Tallulah ran off, leaving me with Holly, who proceeded to make me pay for her tickets to every game. I decided I needed something strong if I was going to be able to survive that night because my social batteries were at zero. "Hey, can I have a coffee, please?" I asked the lady at the stall. "Sorry, we have run out of coffee. Could you wait for a few minutes?" she asked. "Or you could take this one. I have no idea where the customer is. He disappeared before it was ready," she said. Well, I could not let the good coffee be wasted, so I took the coffee and relished in the taste. Made just the way I like it. Unbelievable, utter blasphemy, a low voice growled in annoyance. I looked at the source of the discontentment and was met with a very tired-looking guy who looked like he needed more coffee than me. I could just imagine the look of discomfort on my face. I started to stutter and watched his face transformed into one of amusement. "So now you steal coffee?" he laughed. "Sorry, do I know you?" I asked. "Earlier, you got the last 2 tickets to the Gumball game. My sister was pretty upset with me," he chuckled dryly. "I believe I have wronged you many times this night. How can I make it up to you?" "You owe me real coffee," he laughed. And that was how I met Hunter. Someone who amused me with his dry humor and with whom I had conversation that lasted until late night. Time flew as we engaged in banter and then just talked about ourselves. Hunter was wickedly smart, being homeschooled but also working as a coder. He was like me, forced to attend the fair by evil little sisters. When Tallulah came to tell me that we had to go home, I was incredibly sad and scared that I would not see or talk to him again. After all, he had been in town for a couple of years and I never ran into him, but he slipped me his number. I texted immediately when I got into the car. Me. "I'm sorry, I guess our coffee date will have to be rescheduled." Me. "Shoot, I did not mean date." Me. "Sorry, I'm so awkward." I wish that I could just start over as I was watching him start to type. Hunter. "I like how forward you are. It can be anything you want." "Looks like someone had more productive night than I did," Tallulah groaned. I looked up and saw that she was looking at me with a knowing look.
"Felix met someone new?"
Holly asked from the front of the car. "Oh, hell no, I'm not discussing anything to do with my love life with you," I said as I put my headphones in and shut them off as I continued a very productive texting exchange with Hunter. We planned to hang out the very next morning, but that night I did not sleep. I could not remember the last time I smiled like that. I had only one serious relationship with my first boyfriend, but he had to move away. After that, I had been painfully single. Not that I minded, as I was a bit cynical when it came to love. Yet I could not help feeling like something was budding with Hunter. The next day could not come soon enough. My family looked at me like I was mad when I joined them for breakfast and told them that I was going to see a friend. A friend I had mad chemistry with from what I had experienced on the phone and from what I felt when he hugged me as soon as he saw me. The hug lingered a little too long. Not that I minded. None of his family members were home, so it was just the both of us. And even though I had already eaten, he had to entice me with some waffles that he made. "You were a man of many talents," I said as I licked my fingers. "You want more?" He winked. "You want to fill me up so I can burst, right?" I asked. "Are you calling me a serial killer?" He asked as he came closer to me. I could not let myself look away from his eyes, so much clearer and alive than the previous night. "Want to see my room?" he asked. I went to his house nearly every day for the following week. I eventually got to meet his family, which consisted of his mom, dad, and little sister. He was an introvert, well in person, but he had quite a lot of thoughts. We could speak about thought-provoking stuff at any time, then switch to playful flirting a second later. But we never did anything besides holding hands a bit. I wanted to make a move, but I did not, to make a fool of myself, so I stalled. That was until one day when he was accompanying me home and we reached his porch. Then he turned to look at me without saying anything. Hun, I did not get to finish my sentence before he gave me a quick peck on the lips. It was a bit dark, so I was not too worried about what the neighbors would say. Everyone knew we're gay, but that did not mean that there were no people who could not mind their business and who were always on our case about even holding hands. As I was rounding the corner, something bumped into me so hard that I fell to the ground. I looked off into the distance and saw a jacket that I would never mistake. Mason. I did not know him that well, but I had been getting nasty looks from him all week that made me think that he had a problem with me. He would come out of nowhere and jostle me, and then glare at me as if he deeply hated me. The last thing I wanted was to be in these bad books, but the following week was terrible. Mason somehow got my number and started sending me very vague messages, telling me to stay away from the most important person in his life. I knew he was not talking about my sister because he stood her up many times and she had already gotten the message that he did not want her. And everyone knew I was gay, so I was not hanging out with his love interests. At school, he was subtle in the way he made my life hell, but was more creative than I gave him credit for in the past. It all came together one afternoon when he cornered me at a coffee shop I had just visited to get something for myself and Hunter, who I was publicly dating now. I had gained the confidence to ask him out on a coffee date I promised him when we first met. It went really well and the chemistry was off the charts, so we were official from that day onwards. So, you continue to try to take my friend away from me. He came out of nowhere as shoved the cake I had out of my hands. What do you even mean? You cannot keep doing this. I have done nothing to you. I tried to stand my ground, but he dragged me on the arms until my bones are nearly crushed. He had a crazed look in his eyes. Hunter is my friend, mine. You are taking all of his time. Stay away from him. Do not let me warn you twice. He screamed into my face. I was so shaken that I remained in the spot after he was long gone. As soon as he left, I got a text from Hunter. Hunter. Babe, what's taking you so long? I'm getting hungry. Me. How do you know Mason McMillan? Hunter. Random question. He has been my best friend since I was a kid. I trust the guy with my life. Me. You knew that I go to the same school as him, right? Hunter. Yes, why? Me. I hate to do this over text, but please stay away from me. This was not a mess that I wanted to be a part of. If I told him that his friend was bullying me, he would never take my side. He said it himself. He trusted the guy with his life. Sending that message hurt me more than I thought it would. This was why I never wanted to open my heart. Something or someone would get in the way of my happiness. When I got home, I locked myself in my room and spent hours trying to stop myself from picking up my phone and telling Hunter that I made a mistake and I wanted to be with him. I finally checked my phone to see what he had said. What I saw made me break out in tears once again. Hunter. Babe, what is going on? What happened with Mason? Why are you breaking up with me? Why is Mason saying that you hate him and have been mean to him? I think we should be broken up then. I could not respond to the messages because he blocked me. But now I was seeing him everywhere. It was funny how before I knew him, I never saw him anywhere, but now he was everywhere. With Mason who would steer him away from me when I saw them. I was beyond confused as to why he hated me. It could not have been anything to do with me being gay, was it? He was friends with Hunter, who was also gay. I was miserable and even my sisters could not get me to cheer up. But they did not give up and once again, they got me to open up. I had just seen Mason and Hunter at the mall and Holly must have seen something in my expression because she said, "Is that not your boyfriend with Mason? That is an odd pairing," she chuckled. "Mason thinks Hunter and I don't make sense and Hunter and I broke up," I said. "Why?" Tallulah asked. "Mason does not want me to date his friend," I sighed. The next thing I knew, the two of them have left my side and were storming all the way to Mason and Hunter. When I got there, I was too late because they were already giving Mason a piece of their minds.
Why did you threaten my brother so he would break up with his boyfriend?
Can't you let anyone be happy for once? Holly asked.
Yeah, why are you bullying our brother?
Answer us, Tallulah added, but I felt it was a whole lot more personal from her side. Mason looked like a deer caught in headlights while Hunter was just staring at me. All the feelings I was trying to forget kept rushing back, and I wanted to get away as far away as possible.
Mason, what are they talking about?
Hunter finally spoke. Mason was lost for words for the first time. Girls, please wait for me in the car, I said. I could not have my sisters there to witness this. I had a feeling that the next few moments were going to be intense. Fine, but if you hurt my brother... Tallulah glared at Mason like she could turn him into ice. Why? Answer me. Why? Hunter asked him. I'm sorry, okay? He sighed. Sorry does not cut it. You knew how happy I was with Felix. Well, I do not like him. You deserve better, Mason said. What is that supposed to mean? I have never done anything to you. I raised my voice. I'm sure you're a nice person, but you cannot have Hunter. I won't let you. He got angrier. I know you are my best friend and all, but I can date who I want. When I have ever gotten involved in who you want to date? Hunter turned to him. I don't want him to hurt you. He will not. He will. He does not love you as I do. You know you're like a brother to me. Hunter sighed. Screw being a brother. I have loved you for the past year. He dropped the bombshell on us. I did not even know where to look when he said that, but my mind was completely blown. This made so much sense. How come I did not see it? Hunter let out a sigh, then he bolted. My first instinct was to run after him, and luckily I caught up to him. He kept on swearing under his breath and pacing like he was losing his mind. He hurt you, he suddenly said as he looked up to me. Hunter, it is fine, I started. It is not. I do not want his toxic energy in my life. I am done now. I am so sorry for the things I said to you. I want to fix things, he said, coming to bury himself in my arms. I held him like that for a very long time, and my heart felt like it would rejoice. Losing him like that had to put my priorities straight. I wanted him and was not going to let anything get in the way. Do you want to go for a snack with me? He asked. I agreed to go with him, but there was something that would not leave my mind, and it was the look in Mason's eyes. He had most likely admitted his sexuality for the first time, and I did not think he was okay. Spend the night with me? I am sure I can sneak you in, he started. I am sorry, I can't. I really want to, but we need to check on Mason. I have a feeling he is not okay, I said. He lied to me, and he hurt you. He bullied you for weeks, he said. I forgave him, and all that is not important right now. You need to talk, I insisted. But I'm not forgiving him. 2 hours later, we were both in Mason's room and looking at each other. His eyes were red from crying, but he tried to act like he was not bothered. Do your parents know? I asked. They would kill me, he sighed. Why did you not tell me then? We tell each other everything, Hunter began. I am not confident like the two of you, okay? I have so much more to lose, so do not tell me about how easy it is. It is not, I understand. But we will be here for you if you need to talk or have any questions, I said. Thank you. And Felix, I'm so sorry that I hurt you, he said. I forgive you, I said, hugging him, pulling Hunter in the hug. Just call me if you need anything, okay? Hunter said. Mason nodded meekly. We turned to leave, but he stopped us by saying, I was wrong. You two make a good couple. He smiled, but I could see the pain in his eyes. As we were walking to Hunter's house, he surprised me by planting a passionate kiss on me, much to the dismay of an older lady crossing the street. I could have sworn that she made the sign of a cross. I leaned into him, relishing the feeling of him being so close to me after weeks apart. Is your offer still on the table? I asked. Hell yes! Race you! He took off running while I screamed at him to wait for me. First, he got in to check the coast, then he grabbed me and we snuck up the stairs. We were almost home free when my phone pinged. Holly, thank you for making us wait in the parking lot for hours. Mom is going to be hearing about this. Hunter, is that you? Hunter's mom called out. He quickly pushed me into the room and dealt with his mom while my sisters were robbing me in broad daylight so they would cover for me for that night.
Finally,
Hunter entered the room and locked the day behind me, and immediately attacked me with a kiss. "I missed you so much," I said. "It had been hell without you. I love you so much." He caught me off guard with that proclamation, but I was ready to say it back. "I love you," I whispered into his neck as he laid me on the bed. The end. That was a lot of drama in one relationship, but who needs boring? What was the strangest misunderstanding you ever had in your relationship? Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time. Summary. Felix is a 17-year-old guy who meets Hunter, 18, who is homeschooled at a Valentine's Day fair. They hit it off and fast become friends, but things quickly become romantic between them. But strangely, Mason, 18, starts threatening and bullying Felix. It is when things become serious between Hunter and Felix that Mason reveals he is Hunter's best friend and he wants Felix to break up with Hunter. Felix breaks up with Hunter without any explanation because he is scared, and for weeks, they do not talk. Felix's twin sisters, Tallulah and Holly, both 18, confront Mason in front of Hunter when they find out why Felix is miserable. In a conversation between Hunter, Mason, and Felix, Mason reveals that he is secretly in love with Hunter. Hunter wants to end the friendship, but Felix convinces him to support his friend who has just revealed he is gay. Felix's support leads to Hunter confessing that he loves Felix. The end. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to join our Rainbow Force, and as always, stay wholesome.